Hello, good people. I want to welcome you guys to the Good Vibes Only conversation. My name is Junade Hassan. Today we'll be talking about toxicity, toxic people, toxic relationships, and love. I feel like right now it's everybody has the verbiage, but not everybody is having the conversation behind what being toxic is, what it looks like, what it feels like for your partner, for yourself. So I wanted to dive in, start with the negative points and then go on to the healthy points of relationships and what's going on in today's society with everyone wanting to do the work and everyone focused on mental health and how these relationships have affected us and how they will affect us, and trying to stay away from those relationships if that's what you're into. Some people love being toxic, and to each his own. So I'll start off with the definition of a toxic person. A toxic person is anyone whose behavior adds negativity and upset to your life. Many times people who are toxic are dealing with their own stresses and traumas. To do this, they act in ways that prevent them and will present them in their worst light, and usually upset people along the way. So let's focus on the traumas, the triggers. So I feel like with most people in toxic relationships or dealing with toxic people, you attract what you are, right? So let's say I'm at a stage in my life, because everybody was there. I'm a little older now, but I was definitely toxic in my 20s and dealing with certain women, and I realized those behaviors, and I kept repeating those same patterns until I realized that I needed to change and that I needed to work on myself in order to not have to deal with those type of people, not to be that type of person myself, and to get out of those situations. So I'll talk about my own experience. In my experience growing up as a kid, my trauma and my conversation dealt with my mother always being busy. She was a very busy lady. She was an independent woman. She raised 2 kids on her own, and so she was always working. And so for me as a teenager or adolescent, I would always want to get her attention, but she would always be busy. So how that correlated into my adult life was I would always pursue women who I knew were too busy for me, because it supported those feelings that I felt when I was a child. So how that looked is I would date women who, were successful or doing their thing, but just couldn't find time for me because it would support me not feeling like I was worthy of their time, because that was the trauma and the lessons and what I took from my adolescent and brought into my adult life. The only way I was able to get past that was to seek help. I had to get therapy. I ended up doing a group session called the Forum. It's called the Landmark Forum, and it changed my life. You can look it up, you can Google it, it's amazing. So basically what they do is a group session where you sit in a room with well over 100 people that you don't know, complete strangers, and they have this language and this curriculum to kind of help you break down your traumas and kind of figure out what's making you and what's stopping you from moving on to the next level, whatever you're dealing with in your life. And I think the beauty in that is you don't necessarily have to do the work. You can see someone else doing the work and it'll correlate to you. At least that's what happened to me in this group session. I remember this man was like fighting the process. He was fighting for his life in this process. He did not want to give in to the fact that he had issues. He felt like his life was perfect. He felt like he didn't need to be there. But in having that conversation with the counselor and her breaking him down and him breaking down his walls and actually realizing that he didn't have everything together. And, he did need to change. He did need to work on some stuff in his life. He did have people in his life he needed to apologize to. It helped me realize and see myself in him. So that was the beauty of that group session, is, because everybody does it differently. Some people do therapy for 3 to 4 years to reach the breakthrough that I got in a weekend. And so I was blessed to be able to do that. And so I feel like now that everyone's having this mental health conversation, it's just dope for me to go back and walk you guys through my process that got me to where I am. And also to talk about this, healthy conversations around healthy love, because I feel like everyone deserves that at some point in this point in your life. You want to have healthy relationships. You want to have healthy conversations with people that you love. and not be always defensive and not always have an attitude about it and not always be short with them, because that's just the behavior that comes with being toxic. So I feel like let's start with the toxic, and then we'll move on to how we can correlate and bring that into having healthy relationships. And all of this is to support Good Vibes Only, the album, which is a healthy R&B album that I created last year. I dropped it on Valentine's Day. It was just after I had my daughter, I just didn't want to be a rapper anymore. I didn't want to rap about what I was rapping about. And what I was rapping about at the time was what I was doing, making money off weed. Everybody who knows me knows that I've been in the cannabis industry for probably like the last 12, 14 years, maybe even longer. And so I didn't want that to be the legacy that I left for her through music, because that's what I do on a day-to-day. I don't necessarily have to make that my legacy. So I decided to drop the moniker I Am Popular, drop my music under my government name, Junade Hassan, and make it be healthy R&B for people who like healthy relationships, are in healthy relationships, tired of listening to the toxic messages that are in the music, and want to do something different. Because I feel like with music is like the same as talking into the universe. What you put out is what you get back. What you listen to is what you're gonna portray. If you're only listening to toxic music, toxic messages, you're gonna think it's cool to continue that toxic behavior. If you listen into healthy music with healthy messages, you're gonna pursue and you're gonna look for something healthy in your life. Just like what you eat, it's the same thing. What you put into your body is what you put out. So yeah, that was the gist and the reason of me doing the Good Vibes Only album and now having the Good Vibes Only conversations. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in, checking me out. This is the first of 5 episodes that I'm going to be recording, just to have these conversations with people who want to have these conversations. So you can leave how you feel in the comments, your feedback. Check out the album. I'll leave the link in the bio, and hope you guys have a great day and productive day and a healthy day. Thank you.